So I'm 9, and I'm in a rowboat in the Indian Ocean with my little brother, who's also incidentally not wearing a life jacket. And up ahead of us looms an Iranian cargo ship. And when I look behind me, I can see my mother on the shore of our little town, and she's waving goodbye, and she's saying something like, "Have a great time, kids!" So in 1976, 2 years before the Iran hostage crisis, my parents came home to dinner in our married student housing apartment and announced that we were moving to Kenya for a year. My father would do research in ethnomusicology, I would go to 3rd grade, my brother would start kindergarten, and my mom, unbeknownst to any of us at the table at the time, would become the cruise director of Dodgy Adventures. And by dodgy adventures, I mean things like camping in a tent near piles of elephant poop, which imply that there are elephants nearby. Or bus rides on bandit-infested roads where Kenyan military police with their bayonets would come on to make sure that we were safe. Or getting my ears pierced by my best friend's toothless grandmother with a needle of unknown origin. Or one of my personal favorites was my mom checking our whole family into the Lucky Lodge, where the women who worked there would babysit us all day, and then they would service their lucky customers all night. So into this picture comes the Iranian ship captain, of course. My mom probably met him on the waterfront, walking down the street, and somewhere between, "Hi, how are you?" and "Nice to meet you," she decided it would be a smashing idea to send her 2 children to visit him on his ship, alone. The story was that he missed his children, and my mother, being a very generous and kind 1970s sort of mom, decided that hers too would make suitable substitutes. So here we are, headed out to this ship. And the truth is that I remember these afternoons, because there were many over that year, as very sweet. It's true, the Iranian ship captain missed his children, and he stuffed me and my brother full of orange Fanta and pistachios and stories of his country and stories about his children. I wasn't molested, I wasn't kidnapped, I wasn't trafficked, and as an adult, I have wondered what the hell was my mother thinking? I mean, seriously, what could go wrong when you put 2 little kids on a ship full of sailors bound for Iran? So I've asked my mother about this situation, about her rather laissez-faire parenting style, and she says to me, "You know, honey, I always knew that you could handle yourself." And I heard this more as an excuse for her choices than as an actual parenting strategy, because come on, I didn't even let my own children cross the street alone until they were 12. So fast forward to last year. I'm 51. I'm in an ice cream shop in Sonoma County, California, and I lock eyes with an elderly gentleman across the way, and I ask him how he's enjoying his flavor. And he says, "Oh, it's coconut. It's delicious. Would you like a bite?" And I do what anyone would do, and I take a big chomp of the dude's ice cream. And then I say, "Well, you want to try mine? It's pistachio." And while he's chomping down my ice cream, he says, "Well, pistachios come from my country. I'm from Iran." And I think to myself, what if he's the Iranian ship captain? Maybe he knows the Iranian ship captain. And then I realized that's kind of like my friends in Kenya saying, "Oh, you're from the United States. Do you know Bob?" And in that moment, I can feel my mother smiling at me from Ohio, where she has a dining room full of Afghanis and Egyptians and Germans who miss their families and wish that they had a home away from home. And I realized that my mother was right, and that her legacy is deep within me, and it's this: be generous. It is always worth it to take a chance on people, and know that you can always handle yourself. Thank you.